What is up, everyone? Scott Brandt coming to you on this late Wednesday evening in Colorado Springs, highlighting the High School and Beyond podcast. And the topic today is options. And I understand when you really think about it, sometimes having too many options is not good for an individual, depending on what part of life we are looking at and considering. When it comes to the college planning process, and if college is a route for your student and you're going that route, having options on the table is beneficial to you and your students to work the financial aid process to your benefits. And you're like, working the financial aid process to my benefit, what does that mean? So I think I've talked about this a little bit, but I don't recall. So it may be something that, like I said, already talked about, but it has to be emphasized. I've had individuals, and I look at for myself in regards to the fact that when I went to college the first time, I only looked at one college. I didn't apply to any other colleges. I just applied to one college, and that was it. And I've had individuals that I've spoken to that they tell me the same thing. They're like, I'm just looking at one college. And I bring up the fact that that is just like you going to a car dealership and telling the dealer that you just want that car over there, that red car, that's all you want. You don't want to test drive. You don't want to look at anything else. And so what's their incentive to try to get you to buy a car? There's no incentive for you to try to sweeten the deal for you as the consumer. They know they have you one way or the other. You've talked about it. It's just that one option. And so it's the same thing when it comes to college planning and applying to colleges. You've got to look at applying to 6 to 7 schools. You'll have some people that will end up wanting to apply to 15, 20 schools, which if you want to go that route, more power to you. But having that sweet spot of 6 to 7 schools is beneficial to you, your student, in regards to working the financial aid process in your favor. Because when you complete the FAFSA, you highlight the schools that you're looking at attending, and those schools receive your information. And so they know and they see the schools that they are competing against. And legitimately, the only way to really get a student to come to that community is the money that's offered. And so that's the importance of having your options open, looking at 6 to 7 schools, because when it comes to racking and stacking the colleges and the money that's being offered, the top choice may not give you the most funding, while the fourth option or the third option may be giving you the best package when it comes to funding on the table. And so that's something to think about, that, yeah, it may be only the third option, but if the funding is sweeter than the top school, then why would you not take that offer if it's going to reduce how much may have to be borrowed to pay for school through loans? And so that's the importance of having options open when it comes to applying to schools. But you'll have a lot of students and families that get so drawn on, I want to only look at this one school. I don't care about any other schools. This is the school I'm going to, because maybe it was as a result that it's within the family tradition, the family bloodline. That's the school that they've gone to. So the student's like, well, I've got to go to this school too, because my family has gone to this school many, many, many generations. But you may not get the best funding package. Maybe when you apply to only one school, they come back and you don't get anything. And so now you're kind of in trouble because you don't have anything to stand on when it comes to appealing the offer that's given by the school. That was the only school that you applied to. So they know you're coming one way or the other. There's no incentive for you, for that college, to give you more funding, because they know you're coming. You didn't show anything else. You didn't show that they had anybody that they had to compete against. And so there's no incentive for them. The thing we have to be mindful about when it comes to your options is the student has to have this finalized so that way they don't get in a boat. I had a family I was speaking with, and the students had applied to all these different schools, and then they decided they wanted to go attend Arizona State University. They applied, I think it was like May or June, and the funding package that they received wasn't very strong, but they were dead set on going to school, so they went. And then they were like, we don't know what to do. We can't afford to pay for the second year of school. And so the school looked and said, well, you covered the first year, so we know you can cover the second, third, fourth year. And so it can be very detrimental to your students and the potential debt that's having to be taken on, the trouble of not getting the best funding package. And so this is the importance of having options, having multiple schools to look at just in case something happens. But also this is where the competition factor comes into play. You pretty much pit school against school and have them go at it. So if they really want your student, the only way to really get the student to come is by the funding that's offered. So this is just very quick, something to really hit on because I see it all the time where kids are like, I just want to go to this school only, no other schools. And from my experience, I would say that's not a smart move to go. But if that's the route you want to go, I've talked about it before. Every choice we make in life has consequences, good or bad. We don't know what that looks like until we get through that situation. And then we can look back and say, yeah, it was good consequence, or no, it wasn't very good consequences. It was bad. But that just depends on how you look at things. So other than that, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me. In the show notes, there will be the email address that you can send me an email. You can send out communication to me, asking any questions that you have, see how I can be of service. Also, you can go to the company's website, mycollegeinfo.com, and you're able to search for advisors within your state that may be near you. And so you may be an individual that's listened to the podcast that's outside the state of Colorado. That's where I'm at. And so maybe you want somebody that you can work with face to face. And so I highly suggest go on to mycollegeinfo.com, take a look, put your information in there and see what advisors are around you and reach out to those individuals. All I'm doing with this platform is just sharing the information that I have. So that way students make the most informed decision for who they are as an individual. That way they don't get stuck in a box that they don't belong in. Because I always speak on it that college isn't for everybody. So it's just helping the students make the most informed decision. So that way they are the most productive member of society and they're happy with the choices that they've made. So other than that, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.